It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day. And I want to give a shout out to my follower Anne from San Marcos for sending me this adorable coffee mug. It came the other day with a super cute card and it absolutely made my day. Thank you so much for thinking of me. I drink one cup of coffee every morning and I just love everything about this mug. So thank you for your thoughtfulness. Hold on. Okay. All right. So it's summer and everything is a hot mess. I haven't really been out here in my garden intentionally for 2 or 3 weeks. There's just been a lot going on. I mean, it's all good. But we spent a week out of town shooting not a special, but an episode for Things Green. It's a PBS gardening show based out of Los Angeles that'll be airing in the fall. That was really fun and exciting. I did a studio arrangement of using my moss and glue method with the host Nick Federoff. Taught him how to do that. Then we went and toured the Deer's Garden in Tustin, that insanely beautiful collector's paradise. So between that and family stuff, watching the succulent babies, doing some babysitting, and life, haven't been out here as much as I'd like. And oh no, I came out this morning to kind of get a sense of what I wanted to do. And I mean, I could stay out here for a month. But I got to thinking, if this is happening to me, I'm seeing ants, I'm seeing mealybug, I'm seeing aphids, I'm seeing sunburn, I'm seeing heat damage, I'm seeing some rot, I'm seeing a lot of detritus and weeds. This is happening to me, it's probably happening to you too, and it can be overwhelming. So my tip is to pick an area, preferably one that doesn't get annihilated by the sun all day long. If you've got an area that gets morning sun, afternoon shade, or an area in mostly shade, or an area that gets filtered sun, tear into it. You can even make or remake a pot right now in the summer, as long as you can provide some shelter for what you have done throughout the hottest part of the day. You should be good to go. And it can be just make it seem a lot less daunting. So look at this. I know what you're thinking. Laura, what's wrong? Well, that's the point, I mean, at first glance, maybe not much. But if you look at this closely, you can see that I have weeds. I have detritus. And I've got Aloe Striata that's doing what Aloe Striatas do. And the under leaves are starting to die off, and you can't pull those things out. You literally have to remove the plant, cut away the brown leaves, and reset it. I've also got a little aloe brevifolia under this Crassula undulata that is just completely and utterly lost back there. So I want to pull that out and move it to a place where it will be more prominent. Also not feeling this alyssum anymore. It was really beautiful in the winter and the early spring, but now it's starting to get leggy and ratty looking. So I want to clear all that up. And where that might not seem like a lot, it's going to make my heart happy. So let's do it. Let's tear in. We're going to start with the biggest issue, which are these Aloe Striatas. I love this aloe, and it's got a really pretty flower on it, but I don't like what happens is it starts to age. See that? See this browning, these underleaves? Sometimes you get lucky and they just pull right off. Sometimes you're not so lucky and you actually have to cut them. Some of these are pulling off. And then look at all these pups and babies that are coming. And I don't know, guys, I really don't want a giant stand of Aloe Striata right here at this stage of my life in my garden. So I think I'm going to remove these pups. They're very delicate. So these are going to go in the ICU, or I should say the NICU. these little guys. I'll leave the roots intact, and I will put them over under the red tapestry raised bed in my little NICU area where I've got some propagation going, and just hold on to these until the season is cooler and I can figure out where I want to plant them. And you know, here's another thing. As these start to grow and get a little bigger, you know, you can see the potential that the Striata has, but it's got to go, it's not going to go from this to this overnight. So I can even put these in a mixed potted arrangement if I want, if I enjoy the color and the texture of the plant, knowing good full and well that I can move them anytime I want. But for now, I'm just going to remove the pups. I'm going to pull off the dead leaves. This is a really, really good time too to check for those pests that I just mentioned. I don't see anything on this. The Aloe Striata has a tendency to get aphids in the center of the plant, and I do spray this frequently with a hose. I probably water more than I should, but I do keep that sprayed out, and I think that has kept the aphids away from my plant. So you're going to want to get, you know, as close as you can to the trunk when removing these leaves. And this is simply aesthetic. This is maintenance. You don't have to do this. This doesn't matter in terms of whether the plant is healthy or not healthy, or going to live or going to die. I just personally don't like the look of brown leaves around the base of my aloes. And as I said, I don't want this plant growing into a giant stand right here at this corner. Oh, here's a spent bloom stalk. Get rid of those too while you're at it. Yeah, see, some of these leaves are just pulling right off, and that is very satisfying. Others, got to take the multi-tool. How's it looking over there, Greg?
You have some.
Right there, yeah. So, Greg is my handy-dandy cameraman right now because Hannah, poor Hannah, is in Hawaii for the week. Just vacationing with her sister Alex and their friend Stormy and having a great time. So, yay, Hannah. Very happy for her. She works very hard. Okay, this is a potential... They're potential pups. Don't want you. Okay, so I have examined my roots, and I don't see any galling. I don't see any ants. I don't see any mite. I don't see any bugs. Everything looks really, really good and really, really healthy. So this Striata will be ready to be popped back into the ground. But while I've got the soil all turned up, this is a good time also to do the meticulous OCD stuff, like pulling weeds. Like I said, I'm over the salicum now. And see all these little seeds that are falling as I pull it out? That'll be the new crop next spring, next winter and spring. This will come back with a vengeance. It does every year. Also, elephant in the room, this sedum right here is going to bloom out soon. It'll get a white flower, and then it will have to be cut back literally to a nub, because after it flowers it looks like crap. But this is another one that makes it come back every winter in my garden. That's the beauty of the sedums. Most of the time, if you cut them back to nothing, they will come back the next year. All right. So that, oh God, this is just making me feel so much better. Just doing these little things. All right. I mentioned that I've got an aloe brevifolia under this undulata that's just languishing. So, oh my gosh, Greg, look. Right? Look at how tight that looks now. Just as clean as a whistle. All right, I digress. So I'm going to go ahead and pull. Ew, that brevifolia isn't happy. I mean, it just literally came. It just popped right on out. And this one kind of does the same thing the Striata does. It gets those ugly bottom dead leaves. So this is a really good time to clean that up, to shake all the detritus out. Aloe brevifolia is one of my favorite little aloes. It's just so well behaved. It has a low growing clumping habit. So if you've got an area that's kind of diminutive and small, or you have a narrow flower bed or pathway, brevifolia is a good one, and it will take full sun. It will also tolerate some shade. It's really not particularly fussy. It's also not susceptible to pests or diseases. I knock on wood, have never seen aloe mite on a brevifolia before. Okay, so I've got the brevifolia out from under the undulata. I'm going to manipulate these. Ooh, there's another spent bloom. Can't have that. All right. Oh, these look so good. Good. Okay, so I didn't cut the roots, you will note. I didn't cut them, but I did lift them up and mess with them. So what's going to happen is I have effectively stressed my striata. So it should turn, another leaf, this beautiful shade that you're seeing of kind of a rose-colored pink should turn more that color, which is going to be fun to watch from the stress that I have subjected it to. So I'm just going to loosely push the dirt back. Remember, if your succulent stands up, you've done your job. Not really terribly concerned about that. Fluff some rocks up underneath that undulata, because you know that's what happens. Your plants start to grow, and then all of a sudden things start getting covered up. You know, no worries. Just be the boss, be the daddy. And if you don't like where something is, if you don't like the way it looks, dig it up, move it. Just remember the time of year and to provide the proper environment for your plants. So I'm going to take these little brevifolia, and I guess you guys are just going to have to stay tuned, because I don't know what I'm going to do with this mom and her babies right now. And so you'll just have to wait and see on that. I have already told you that I'm going to take these little striata babies and I'm going to put them over in the NICU, and I will deal with these at a later time. I left the roots, so I'll probably go ahead and put them in some soil and just let them kind of hibernate, maybe grow out a little bit until the fall, and then I'll figure out a home for them. But the potential is so fantastic for the striata. It really is a pretty aloe, and it's fairly soft-skinned. It's pretty friendly, and so it's a good one in, you know, around pathways where people might walk. It's not going to hurt anybody if they fall on it. So, oh my gosh, let me stand up and take a look. Now, when I come out here and I walk around this corner, I am going to breathe a sigh of relief, because this area now looks so clean and so tidy and so perfect. And where I'm ending this video, I'm not ending my time out here in the garden. Now I'm pumped up. I'm inspired. I'm going to go find another area that gets some protection from the hottest part of the day, and I'm going to rework it too. So you get out in your gardens, you have fun. Thank you so much for watching and liking this video, for your fantastic comments, and for subscribing to my channel. This has been Lori Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day. Bye guys!